Hey, what's up YouTube? Leo Sheng here, host of the ExtremePhillyFishing channel. As I have emphasized in my previous 2 videos, I believe, by the time you guys are watching this video, I will be fishing in Florida. I will be in Fort Lauderdale with my mom, hopefully doing some saltwater fishing on the side. So if you haven't added me yet on Instagram or Snapchat, I highly recommend you to do so, okay? Because I'm going to be posting photos and snaps every day down there, okay? But anyways, let's talk a little bit about today. Today is January 21st, 2017, my 7th outing of this year. I decided to pick, no, it is not the Delaware Canal, by the way, okay? I know that behind me here, we have the Delaware Canal, but we are actually going to be fishing a creek that passes below the Delaware Canal. It is called the Buck Creek. And the goal for today is really to do some multi-species fishing, some micro fishing, try to catch at least 4 different species of fish, just do some suspended jigging, you know, a small jig head, a small trailer, and see what we can catch, okay? So stay tuned, fellas, because today should be good. Aha, so there we go. Hey fellas, we are right here at the Buck Creek. Actually, we are on the Delaware Canal, but down here is Buck Creek. This is the area where we are going to be fishing at, all right? So let me get down there and show you guys how it looks like. Look, the terrain is not very pleasant today. It rained a little bit, you know, yesterday. We gotta get down right over here and we gotta be very careful not to fall, okay? Because things are kind of on the muddy side, you know what I'm saying? So give me a second here, all right? You know, when you go out to fish, I'm always when I go out to fish, right, I'm always very careful about these little pets, you know? Whoa, because, you know, man, you can't hurt yourself, you know? Part of being an angler is to remain in one piece and remain healthy. So, you know, always gotta be careful where you step. You know what I'm saying? All right. We got here to the spot. This is where we are going to be fishing. I apologize for the noise, all right? And, you know, I always do good at this little spot right here, especially around the falls. I think the fish are going to be focused all around that area. So anyways, let me get my stuff set up. We're gonna start and do some fishing. Fish on. First fish of the day coming up right here. What we got? Oh yes, sir. We got a little bluegill to start the day. Man, I'm so glad I'm not getting skunked today, fellas. Check this out, huh? Little healthy bluegill directly from Buck Creek. Fish number 1 of the day. Very nice, very nice. You see this? 1/50th jig head with a little gold minnow trailer right here. We caught our first fish of the day. Nice and healthy bluegill. Back he goes. All right, let's catch some more. Fish on. What we got here? Second species of the day, we got a little bass. Oh man, micro fishing for all these different types of fish. Check that out. Is this a spotted or a largemouth? Now believe it or not, and I'm gonna show you this on camera, okay? This fish has a tooth patch on its tongue. I don't know how well you guys can see it or not with my finger and everything front, but this fish has a little tooth patch right there. This is a spotted bass. Okay, this is not a largemouth. This is a spotted bass, okay? Jawline, let's check the jawline. Jawline does not pass the eye. Toothy patch, this is a spotted bass right here. Species number 2 of the day. You know, the thing is, a lot of people around this area believe that there are no spotted bass around here, you know, only largemouth bass. But they never really took the time to actually perform the test. You know what I'm saying? This is a spotted bass right here, not a largemouth. There you go, second fish of the day. Let's keep catching them. Fish on. All right. Wow, okay, we got a nice size bluegill right here. Check that out, huh? Beautiful winter colors. Nice size bluegill. Hey, yeah, man, I'm digging my new jig heads here. My new jig heads are doing some damage here. Check that out, huh? All right, bye-bye, bluegill. Fish on. What we got here? My goodness, another one of these. Is this a largemouth or a spotted? Well, we will never find out now. What we got here? Another one of these. What? Apparently there's a stunted population of bass here. Was this a largemouth or a spotted? Let me check. Let me check. There's a spotted bass again, all right? Another small spotted bass has a tooth patch. Wow, okay, go back. All right, what we got here? It's getting a little bit bigger, but nowhere the size that we want here. Let's double check here. Oh, you see? This one here doesn't have the toothy patch. This is a largemouth bass. Jaw, well, jaw doesn't quite extend, but this is a largemouth bass right here, all right? Does not have that toothy thing on its tongue. Yep, largemouth bass. So very hard to differentiate unless you really, you know, do the mouth test, okay? And we got like nothing here. All right, time to release this little fella. Largemouth bass, go back where you belong. Fish on. Not a decent gill, but it's all gills though. Oh man, this bluegill has something on it. Check that out. Man, I don't know what that is, but I'm releasing this thing right back, right here. Go, man. Whoo! Some disgusting stuff right there. Fish on. All right, it's getting a little bit bigger now. Let's check what this is. Is this a largemouth? Is this a small? Is this a spotted bass? This is a largemouth bass. No toothy patch. You know, I mean, we've been catching a combination of bluegill, the spotted, and largemouth bass. I mean, at least we're catching something. You know what I'm saying, folks? So there you go, yeah? Micro fishing at its best. Taking a little break right now. As you guys can see, I'm here by the Delaware Canal, and the place that I'm fishing is right down there, right? The Buck Creek. The statistics for today are good so far, fellas. I mean, species-wise, not so good. You know, we've been getting a mix of largemouth bass, spotted bass, and bluegill. But I mean, 15 fish for a day like this is still, you know, winter time. That's not bad at all, you know. So I gotta go down there again. We gotta fight against that noise, you know, and try to catch some more otter species down there. Hopefully, we will catch some nice fish. All right, stay tuned. Fish on! Damn, son, that's a nice bluegill. Holy moly, this is by far the biggest gill of the day. Check that out, huh? This is a 6-7 incher right here. Wow, look at this. Now this is what I call a nice bluegill, winter colors, all right? Whoo, I think this one deserves a photo. Let me take a photo of this guy, and then we're gonna release it. All right, this is a beautiful sample right here. I wanna give this fish a proper release. So let me just go on this rock here, make sure I don't fall in. This is a nice winter bluegill. Beautiful, beautiful color. Check that out. All right, it's gone. Water's cold too. Let's catch some more. Oh, jeez. Oh, wheezy fish. Oh, it's another nice gill, man. There are some very decent bluegill here. There's a 6-incher gill right here. Not bad, not bad. At least we're slaying then the gills and the small bass, you know? That's something. Whoa, easy fish. I was almost losing my hopes when finally another species came up. The pumpkin seed. Yeah, check this out, eh? Ha ha ha, pumpkin seed. Another species for the day. Alright, let's take a photo and release this guy. Not gonna lie to you guys, this little fella actually looks more like a pumpkin seed bluegill hybrid than an authentic pumpkin seed, you know. It doesn't have the blue rays that a pumpkin seed usually has, right? But anyways, I will leave you guys to identify this little fella for me, okay? It definitely has some pumpkin seed to it though, at least 50%. All right, let's release the little fella over here. Go back where you belong, little fish. There he goes, beautiful. Fourth species of the day. Let's keep fishing, see what else is around here. Boys, after catching so many small spotted bass, small largemouth bass, and bluegill, I finally decided to call it a day, you know. We finished it up today with good numbers, 32 fishes, but in terms of species, not so good, you know, only 4 species of fish. I was a little bit disappointed, I'm not gonna lie to you, and that's because every time I come to this place, I catch at least one red breast sunfish, you know. Sometimes an occasional chain pickerel, but I mean, you know, you can't be sad with a day like this, right? I mean, it is kind of still winter, even though temperatures are a little bit high at the moment. So catching this number of fish per day, even though they were super small, is still very, you know, was still very enjoyable. So let me just quickly tell you what I was using for today, okay? I mean, everything is in the description of the video, but I just wanted to focus on the technique, all right? I was using a small weighted float. I was doing what is called suspended jigging. If you're not familiar with this term, I have a video here on the channel where I teach folks how to do suspended jigging. Go check it out, I'm gonna link it above. But anyways, I was doing some suspended jigging, right? And check this out, this is the jig head that I was using for today. It is a 1/50 ounce jig head, all right? Little ice fishing jig head. You may have noticed in my previous videos that I have been using the ice fishing jig head instead of the regular jig head. I have emphasized this in my previous videos, you know. People have asked me, why are you not using your 1/64 ounce Trout Magnet jig head, right? And as I want to emphasize in this video one more time, okay? During the winter time, the bite is very slow. Fish are very lethargic. So using this ice fishing jig here, 4 millimeters, you know, it helps me a lot. And in terms of trailers, I was actually using the Gulp minnow, the 1 inch, all right? But I was cutting part of the minnow off. I was using only the tail part. Smart, huh? Anyways, this is the technique that I was using for today. Time to call it a day, time to go home, get something to eat, you know, prepare for my Florida trip tomorrow. So thank you very much for watching today's video, folks. I hope you guys learned something. Tie lines, and until next time.